All right, we're joined by Austin Ainge. Austin, tell me about this. Like, what's it like over there at Auerbach Center? I know I think your dad, when he was there, used to get everybody together, watch games. What's the environment like as this national holiday of NCAA games launches today?
Yeah, I mean, picture 14 of us or 12 of us in a room with pizza and 4 TV screens, having fun, talking about our brackets just like everybody else. It's fun.
Has anyone already been busted? I know Furman and Virginia earlier. Like, are people reeling? Like, what's going on with in the early going?
Oh yeah, no, there's upsets all over. Shane Fensky from our analytics department's already done. Tough day.
Well, that can be tough. Do you ever look at the TV and think, why are we even watching these games? Brad's going to trade all these draft picks anyway.
Yeah, no, we got to be prepared for all these things. You know, I always say this work never goes unrewarded. We watch these guys no matter what draft picks we have, because we're going to evaluate them for the rest of their lives. We'll watch them in Europe, the G League, the NBA, on other teams. So all this work comes back around.
I just like to joke because you log 1,000,000 miles and then, you know, like, hey, that's part of the league. And when you're a great team the way you guys are, sometimes you got to make those trades. I do want to ask you about a couple of the guys that you have scouted and that are on your roster, overseas stashes. Let's start with Yam Madar. Like, what is going on with Yam overseas? How has he performed this season? What are kind of your view from afar on his progress?
Yeah, Yam's playing in Belgrade, Serbia for a team called Partizan. It's a EuroLeague team, so they're playing at the highest level, and Yam is really progressing. It's high level basketball, and he's getting great reps and getting better. We're excited about his development.
How much are you able to talk to these guys? And we'll get into Juwan Begarin as well, but how much are you able to communicate with them? How much do you put on their plate beyond what they're doing overseas?
Yeah, you know, they got a lot. They've got coaching staff. We're really not trying to interfere too much. You know, we don't want to tell them things that are against the coaching staff's wishes. So we're very careful. Very high level stuff, checking on them, who they are and how they're doing and how we can help. So text with them every now and then, watch, and are just available to answer any questions. And then, you know, various levels of consultation as needed.
And tell me about Begarin, because, like, again, these guys come over for Summer League, fans get invested in them and get excited about their potential moving forward. He seemed like a lot of the tools that could translate, but obviously needs to develop more. What have you seen from him as well?
Yeah, Beggs is playing in the French League in Paris for Paris Basket. He's got an American coach this year who we've had interactions with through the years, and so that's been helpful. They have a president and owner of their team who was a GM in the NBA, so we've had a lot of communication with them, and they've been great partners to help Juwan progress. He's young still, and the league he's in is pretty high, the French League, and they're also playing in Euro Cup, which is one step below Euro League. So also a lot of good talent and reps for him. He's playing with a lot of American guys and an American coach, so his English it continues to improve, and his jumper keeps getting better. And that's all we're hoping for from these guys, is just keep getting better and keep monitoring them in case it's a fit for our roster.
What's that like, having to scour every corner of the earth for those gems, especially when you're drafting late? And, you know, how do you guys go about it? How is the communication with the scouting staff and just trying to stay ahead of the curve with that?
Yeah, you know, we've got a ton of great people that work with us, but also we have so much technology these days. We can watch film from any game in the world. You can pull it up on your laptop at any time. So you can cover a lot. You know, we still go in person. We still have to meet with their coaching staffs and people around them to learn. You know, we're big on knowing if they're competitive and stay focused off the court and all of those little things that you learn from being around people every day. So we do a lot of that work on top of it. But the world really has shrunk and continues to shrink.
Yeah, thank you, Synergy, for letting me pull up random clips of guys that I never thought I could watch from overseas.
No doubt.
I do want to ask you, like, when you're watching these games, and from Brad to Danny, everybody in between always said, you don't judge based solely off this. It's like the entire sample of work. But was there one guy that really distinguished himself that you guys drafted, or that, you know, was on your radar or leaped more because of their play in the NCAAs? And how much does that matter in general? I mean, we all fall prey to recency bias at some point, right?
I'm struggling to come up with an example, Chris, of an NCAA tournament, game that a guy wowed us. Maybe some draft workouts, maybe a combine, even more than the NCAAs. We watch it like we watch all these games, conference tournaments. We were all just we sent our whole staff out to all of those, and then we come back and watch these games on TV. But yeah, I mean, this job is hard. It kind of takes your fandom away. We all love the game and like to watch, but you have to try to keep your emotions out of it. So as exciting as some of these games are, we really try to force ourselves to think long-term and big picture.
Let me talk about your most recent draft pick, J.D. Davison. Has spent a good amount of time with you guys on the two-way. What have you seen from him and sending him up to Maine, and what is his potential as well?
Yeah, I mean, JD just didn't get a ton of reps last year as a pure point guard and very young guy. And so we've just tried to give him as many reps as we can, running pick and rolls up in Maine. Alex Barlow's done a great job with him up there. Him and Fee have been a deadly pick and roll combination up there in the G League. And he continues to get better offensively and defensively. The jump shot is still coming along. And when that clicks for him, he's got a real chance.
So I see someone getting up shots in the background, and I was going to say, is that Gallo working out behind you? But then I remembered I just came off the road. He is still out there with the team, which actually been pretty unique to watch him. Just from being in that building.
He's raising the bench dress code by a lot. He's showing out.
I'm telling you, like rookies coming in, they realize they can't wear the sweats if Gallo's going full James Bond every time he shows up on the bench. Although I do like some of the cowboy boots down in Texas was phenomenal. Just from being in that building every day, how much do you guys keep an eye on him? Do you allow yourself to start dreaming about whether his rehab could allow him to get back out there this year?
Yeah, I mean, we are in communication with the performance staff every day. I mean, we see Gallo, talk with him, how you feeling, how you doing, and it's one of those things that you don't count on it, but you're hopeful and you never rule a guy out. We signed him with high hopes, and it's been tough with the injury, but he's working hard every day, and his brain and shooting and skill would be great to have whenever we can have him.
Ooh, well, all I know is that every time he posts something on Twitter, my phone blows up because people start getting excited. So I don't know if you got to kind of tone him down on that Twitter, or just, maybe we'll just let him ramp up and get excited. Well,
don't want to take away his hope. That whatever keeps him motivated.
I think people forget that like he wants to be out there, especially when you get to an advanced age and you have a chance to really chase a championship. I want to talk about the main event coming up, though. Father versus son, your first time with dad out in Utah. What's that going to be like with Celtics in Utah having 2 games coming up?
I mean, there are some former Celtics I'm really excited to see. Evan Brads, Will Hardy, Kelly Olynyk. I think that's about the list, Chris. No. I mean, I talk with my dad every day, so it's all good. It's fun.
How much is he invested? Because I know I talk to him from time to time, and he's still got his eye on this team. He's part of helping to build it. Like he can't not be interested in like what's happening out here, right?
He watches every Celtics game, yeah, and we talk about it all the time. And I watch a lot of their games, and we had trade talks during the trade deadline, and it's fun. It really hasn't been that different of a relationship that we've had for the rest of my life.
All right. Well, we are doing a segment coming up about NBA mascots, and we're going to put them in a little March Madness bracket. First, number one, do you miss the Maine Red Claw mascot as much as I do? And because I probably still call them the Red Claws 100 times. And 2, do you have a favorite NBA mascot and again, I'm asking you to pick outside maybe your own organization here, but is there, when you're on the road with the team, is there a mascot that stands out among the rest?
I mean, so to answer your first question, I do miss the Red Claws. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. I was a fan. I was the original team. I was there, so I've got some gear in the closet. I still pull out. Other NBA mascots, I'm just thinking of some bad ones. There's been some bad ones. Pierre the Pelican was tough.
He would be mentioned quite prominently in the next segment, so you're tracking well here.
I'll let you guys figure that one out. The classic Celtics' uniforms and logo are the best for me.
There you go. All right, Austin Ainge, get back to those games. Go find some treasures to pluck out of the second round in this year's draft.
Thanks, Chris.